Hi, everyone. We are going to do some readings, but I also want to talk about and hopefully I'll be able to see some chat here because I'm using Zoom again, trying another method. We're going to talk about soulmates. We're going to talk about love, and we're going to talk about what the heck does this have anything to do with 2022? And how do we let go of 2021? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a heart-centered exercise. And we're going to put our hand, our right hand on our heart center. We're going to put our left hand on our chakra of our third eye. Chakra of the third eye, heart center. And we're going to breathe in for 5 seconds through the nose only. And breathe out 5 seconds through the nose only. In for 5 seconds. Out for 5 seconds. In. Out. In. Out. I am the light. I am the being. I am the source. I am the energy. I am the light. I am the being. I am the source. I am the energy. Anything that needs to be healed will be healed now. Anything that needs to be felt will be felt now. Anything that needs to be noticed or observed will be observed, noticed now, and we're going to leave it behind. Breathe in for 5 seconds. Breathe out for 5 seconds. Leave it behind. If it is not mine, I will not take it or accept it. I will let it siphon through my body as I am a vessel and bring it out into the universe and let the universe take care of it. If I am to be a part of the portion of that healing, the universe will bring it back to me and it will be clear to me what I need to know. Breathe in for 5 seconds. Doesn't matter which one. Breathe out for 5 seconds. Namaste. The light within me recognizes the light within you. The God within me recognizes the God within you. The inner higher being of me recognizes the inner higher being of you. Namaste. Okay, deep soul, sisters and brothers, we are going to talk about what is the energy of love and how does this marry into soulmates and what are soulmates and how can we leave 2021 behind and welcome in 2022. Now remember, our soul, our spirit, source, God, energy, Jesus, angels, angelic self, higher being has no conceptualization of the human construct of time. Doesn't know minutes, doesn't know seconds, minutes, hours, doesn't know days, months, years. It knows nothing of that. It knows flow. It knows energy. However, we're human and we put a timeline on love. We put a timeline on our happiness and our career. We put a timeline in our fantasies and our desires in order to soothe the pain that we believe is real. And some of it is real. Don't get me wrong. Every day I ask Source, God, Jesus, angels, my angelic self, my higher self, what Why do people suffer? Why do people cause suffering? That's more important to me than why do people suffer, is why do people cause suffering? Why do people harm, hurt, damage, control, take power over everybody else? Why do they do that? Companies, corporations, institutions, individuals. It happens all the time. And the answer has been given to me, but isn't still clear to me, only because I cannot conceptualize it. I cannot accept suffering. I don't want to. There are only two things, unconditional love, we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about love first, then source spirit, soulmates, second. And then how do we let go of 2021? What the heck was this all about? And some of this is going to come from my book, 101 Answers from the Universe. I was supposed to be doing a weekly, my very first, it's probably not a good time to do it at this time and date, of my every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a talk just like what you're seeing right now. And I will be giving a reading to as many people as possible. When the numbers become over 20, it'll be difficult for me to read for every single person every single time. However, it's $25. You can ask any question and get an answer. As a group, you will benefit from the answers that you get from other people. You guys know it. Every time I have a live session, somebody says, I feel like that was for me. I got something from that too. So that happens. And you'll get messages from source that needs to happen right at this time. So, unconditional love. What is love? Source has told me in my book, 101 Answers from the Universe, that you can get on Amazon. Small book, big answers, downloaded to me in 2019. And when you read it, you'll be like, did you know about what was going to happen in 2020 with everything that's happening right now? Source did, apparently, because it gave you the information that we all need to hear right now, including what is love, what is God, educational system, pharmaceutical system, agriculture, climate change, soulmates, reincarnation, aliens, life on other planets, the chakras, which they guided to tell me that each chakra is a portal. It tells you everything, right? Less than $20 on Amazon. Now, love. This one really blew me away. Okay, the God one, that really blew me away. Born and raised Christian, went agnostic, went an atheist, turned into Buddhism, and an astrologer. So that one blew me away. However, and I will be doing a couple of free sessions. So I want to say hi to Gabriella, and I want to say hi to everybody that's in the chat room right now. And it's the best book you will ever need. Thank you, Charlene. So, namaste. When I asked what love is, which is actually very much intertwined with the answer of what is God, and that was that it is in everything. All right. Love is in everything. There's only two things that we're here to learn. And I told this to a client of mine today. You can get a reading from me, askhollyhall.com. You can get a mini for $37. You can get a full-blown reading for $119 and have an hour with me. You can get coaching for $99 a session. You just go to askhollyhall.com and you can book that. And that client asked me, I don't really conceptualize what you mean by love being in everything. I said, we want to acquire, and I will be honest with you, I will not acquire this in this lifetime. I won't. I know I won't. Maybe magically something will happen where it's just, right? But it's a practice. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't just brush your teeth for a little while and then say, I did the work. I don't need to brush my teeth anymore. I did the exercises. That worked at the gym. I did all the work. I don't need to do that anymore. Eh, I ate healthy. I drank the water I needed. I got my vitamins. I don't need to do the work anymore. No, it's a daily practice. We have to practice this on a regular basis. So does our spiritual practice. So does our need to be able to get to our godlike, heaven-like, utopian, peaceful world. And that is by acquiring two things and two things only. And this is where my clients said to me, well, how do we get there? And I said, it is through our desires, our needs, our suffering. And it comes in many guises. It looks like our mother, our father, our childhood, our brothers, our sisters, our lovers, our partners, our children, our boss, our job, our dog, our body, our physical body, our mind. It comes in so many different disguises. And they all show up to teach you two things in order to get to the heaven of utopia, in order to get to Nirvana. And that is unconditional love. And I'll tell you what that looks like. You'll know when you've got it. And we've all had moments of it. We've all had glimpses of it. Unconditional love and non-attachment, not detachment. Please differentiate between the two. Detachment means that you need to detach. You need to force yourself to let go of a situation, right? That's detachment. But non-attachments means you're not attached. So you don't have to detach from anything because you're not attached to it. It means nothing to you. Your mother's rage, your father's expectations, your child's need to argue with you, your boss's destruction around how he's taking care of his employees, your husband's moods when he gets home, the food that you have in the fridge or don't have in the fridge, the fact that your legs may not work, or your eyes may not work, you're not attached to that. That is pure non-attachment. Nothing, you're not attached to it doesn't mean you don't feel. Okay, detachment means you don't feel. Non-attachment means it hurts. It doesn't feel good. I don't like it, but I'm not attached to changing that. I'm not attached to stopping this suffering because everything is an invitation. Everything is an invitation for you to get closer and closer to non-attachment and unconditional love. Unconditional love feels like this. I want you to remember the first time, the only time that you were ever truly, deeply, euphorically in love. The endorphins, the oxytocin, the serotonin, everything was at its height. And you were high as a kite in love. I remember it. I remember several times, but I remember the one that where I wanted everyone to feel like I did. I wanted everyone, everything, every person, nobody could, I wanted everyone to feel that way. And nobody's happiness made me feel less than. I was the happiest person in the world. Now that was a man-made, constructed, egotistical form of love. And I know that, but the feeling was not, because it tapped in to a knowing that I know I have. And so when we get to that euphoric, utopian place of love, you will love a tree. You will love a blade of grass. You will love your hair. You will love your face. You will love that big giant zit on your cheek. You will love the person next door that you can't stand because they run their lawnmower at 5 o'clock in the morning. You will love, love, love everything and anyone in every event, no matter what that situation is. But will you get to that in this lifetime? Unless you're close to being like the Dalai Lama? Probably not. However, as long as you continue your practice, you will become a step closer. Every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, you are closer and closer and closer to discovering what that is. And then when you get there, you're going to want to expand it even further. and further and further. So some people, as a great example, it is in animals. Animal lovers, all animal lovers know this utopian feeling of love. Every animal they love, like real animal lovers. Some of them only love dogs or only love cats or only love certain ones. But there are animal lovers that even go higher than that, where they just love all of the animal kingdom. Or a nature lover. You go out in nature, everything is beautiful for you. Everything's glorious for you. Everything's so full of love when you're in nature. So imagine feeling like that all of the time. No real highs, because the one that I had was really high, not that high, neutral, not that low, neutral. And that sounds boring, which is one of the reasons we come to planet Earth as humans, because we don't want to be bored. We want to have this roller coaster ride. We don't always have to have it. And that's where non-attachment comes in. We don't desire this constant roller coaster ride. If we have it here, maybe a little while later, maybe a year, we have it over here, low, it's good. We're not attached to having this constant need for it. So every situation, person, even your wicked stepmother and your brutal brother and the worst boss in the world and that nasty neighbor, they're all invitations for you to learn unconditional love and non-attachment. Now, I'm going to take a look at Carol. What are your qualifications and credentials? Thank you, Carol. I haven't had that asked in a while. Hey, you guys, some of you could answer that for me. I am a master astrologer. My background education is in philosophy and psychology. I am a certified in neurolinguistic programming, which is a type of psychology, certified in past life regression, hypnosis therapist. I just happen to have studied dreams my entire life because I have 5 every night and I remember them all. And I'm clairvoyant. I have 4 years experience, 5 years experience full time. I have well over 20 years experience as a master astrologer. And I have been endorsed by the one and only Dr. Shefali, who I actually predicted long before she was on Oprah 12 years ago. And since then, she's been on Oprah over 24 times. And I think she's on her 5th bestseller, New York bestsellers list. She's endorsed me many, many times. So thank you, Carol, for asking that. Now, this is the first time I held, so Charlene was the first time I held my firstborn. I would say that was one of mine as well. And hi, Karen. And thank you, Charlene. Okay, so, Gabriel and from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you. If you want a reading, Gabriel, I can, because I know that, it's not, you're up early. You're up early. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock where you are. Okay, so what are soulmates? If you have a question, I will only answer the questions that is in this format. Birthday. It has to say March. It has to say September. It has to say April. It cannot say 03, 09, 05, etc. Okay, I want it to say, or 04, I want it to say the actual birth month, the year, the date. If you know the time, and the question, all in one line, makes it really, really easy for me. And Carol, if you want to hang in, my credentials will be what you're about to experience, which every one of my clients experience every single day. Now, this is interesting because I can see a ton of people in the chat room, but showing very few watching me live. Hi, Birdie Nest. Happy New Year. Thank you on my holidays. So what we're going to do now is talk about soulmates. So in my book, 101 Answers from the Universe, soulmates and my own experience, plus my guides and everything. I'm one of those people. Since I was a kid, in my early teens, I was looking for my soulmate. Then At the age of 16 or 17, I read the book, What Dreams May Come. That book was a channeled book. My mother read it. I read it at this ripe young age, which was all about soulmates. Apparently a true story. They made a movie out of it, and Robin Williams was the main character in it. And it was, again, all about suicides and soulmates. I believed in soulmates wholeheartedly ever since, and I was on a mission to find my soulmate. Even though the book, I was romantically taken by the fact that I had a soulmate, what I failed to see when I was a child, which I saw much more when I was an adult and I watched the movie, was that these soulmates, they had a wretched life. In fact, not only did they have a wretched life together, I mean, they had this beautiful utopian life. They were connected. He was kind of a workaholic. She was an artist. He worked hard to keep up her artistic business that didn't really make a lot of money. She had a lot of mental health issues. She struggled with anxiety and depression. He was her cheerleader. He supported her. He bonded with her. He was always there for her. He was so entwined with working with the kids and helping with the kids when they became teenagers. He did more work with the kids than she did so that she could escape into her art, so that she could deal with her mental health issues. And eventually she commits suicide. Soon after that, he also commits suicide. And so most of the movie is in the quest for them to search for each other in limbo, where they say, you go. Okay, now this is a channeled book, so whether you believe it or not. However, this is a true story of soulmates. And then they struggled up there to find each other too. She was in a state of forgetfulness and loss and not focusing. She was in it, and so she didn't recognize him. So his job was to get her to recognize him, and then she would awaken from her stupor. But he was warned, you could get lost in hell while you're doing this. And so he did, and the whole movie is around that too, his struggle, right? And then him being such a soulmate, needing to find her. This sounds so utopian, but it's very metaphorical. When we're in a relationship, a real soul relationship, it turns us inside out, upside down. We struggle. It's hard. It turns us into people we don't recognize. It makes us see our flaws and our difficulties. And one of us will support the other one more than the other does. And that's difficult as well, too, right? And so what are we learning? We're learning unconditional love. And so our soulmate will come to us over and over and over again, and they will look like our brothers, our fathers, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, our lovers, and we will be forever changed and altered because of their existence in our life. Does it look like happily ever after Prince Charming? It can. What happens, the source has told me, is that every single lifetime we create a soulmate. We have the opportunity to create a soulmate. To create a soulmate. It doesn't show up at your doorstep perfectly made, as you do not show up on their doorstep perfectly designed for them, right? A lot of times we're looking for our soulmate and we forget that that we have to be their soulmate too. Okay, I'm looking at my puppy dog because she's eating something she shouldn't be eating. So if you could just hang on there while I remove this from her mouth. Okay, so she managed to eat one part of the Q-tip, which is fine. Just don't want her eating the plastic, choking on it. Okay. All right. So when do we have just one soulmate? We have many, many. You want to know why? Because we're all fragments of the one source. We are all fragments of the one source. So Andrea says, who is it channeled by? Ooh, I got to find this. You have to be a mate to your own soul before you can be a mate to someone else. So I love that, Andrea. That was good. Who is it channeled by? Source. So love, okay, here's the analogy that I got of love from, and this is exactly what every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is going to look like. And we're going to focus on different things. You're getting a sneak preview, a sneak peek right now of what I do. Now we're going to do some readings, and hopefully, oh, thank you, Charlene. Charlene's awesome. And so the information that I received from Source, I'm actually asking Source to give me more than that's in the book. I've recently been, recently a publishing company has been interested in my book, so I'm really excited about that. And I do have to do a 2.0 version of it. So scientifically, science, hard sciences, and you can look this up on Google, is everything is 99.999% space. Everything is 90. Just think about that. Okay, everything. My glasses, my hair, this glass of water, everything, everything. This card, my eyeball, my hand, this necklace, everything is 99.999% space. And where does God, love, source, God, energy, love, intelligent love reside? In that space. But what do we do as humans with space? We fill it up. We fill it up with love, desire, anger, hunger, food, shopping, working, busyness. We fill it up. And that is why they say that if you meditate and you have silence, you can feel this sense of peace, because then all of a sudden there's empty space. It's already there, but you're not distracting it from this love source, God, to come in. Why do they say declutter? More space, more love and God's source energy can reside. It can mingle. Nothing can live, survive, breathe, grow, redesign, reproduce. Nothing exists without this loving source, God energy. It's intelligent and it's full of love, and it lives in the 99.999% of our emptiness, including the universe. So it's there, and you are fragments of it. Each human is a fragment of that whole. So what shields us from it? What blocks us from it? What blinds us from seeing, experiencing, feeling, existing in this love source? The only being, only thing, only existence on this planet that detracts from it, distracts from it, blocks it, is humans. Animals don't, plants don't, the air doesn't. No living being denies themselves from that, but humans do it, and we do it to each other. The less you have, the more you have. But people say to me, when am I going to have more love? When am I going to have more money? When am I going to have the house I always wanted, the career I wanted, the job I wanted, the cars I wanted, the clothes I wanted? When am I going to have all the stuff that I wanted? Well, you can have that. It's playful. It's a toy, but you don't need it. Might be better off without it. How does that sound? Okay, so we've got one from Karen. And will I find my soulmate next year and be happy and content? I hope you're listening to what I'm saying about soulmates. And as we have both individually worked on ourselves by then, and will continue to do this work together. I believe, yes, we have many soulmates, family, etc. Okay, good for you. So you have been listening. So July 27th, and she says she's born early in the morning. And we're going to look at talk amongst yourselves. What do you think a soulmate is? Tell me. Have you met a soulmate? I've met a couple. I've definitely met a couple. Some of our soulmates don't look that great to us. They don't. They don't feel like soulmates. They feel destructive. And those are more like soul twins or soul twins, soul families as well. So we're going to look at, not everybody is here to meet a soulmate either. I know it's not in the cards. Not everyone is here to meet their soulmate. And you might meet a twin soul, a twin flame, one of your other types of soul family mates, but not necessarily the intimacy version of it. So you are actually entering, there's a couple of times that you can meet your soulmate. You've had the opportunity throughout the summer and done a lot of work on your emotional needs and also your desire for that knight in shining armor and someone who you need, and they provide you with all your emotional needs. There's a neediness about you wanting comfort and emotional comfort and emotional security. However, you also need, and you may not recognize this, you need your freedom. And so in the past, you have been attracted to partners who have been specifically intellectually, specifically emotionally, as well as physically unavailable. You might have said, why was I cursed with these types of partners? But you subconsciously found yourself attracted to them because it subconsciously gave you a state of freedom. Freedom. So then you would desire a need from someone who does not desire to fulfill the needs of others. And a lot of people do not desire to fulfill the needs of others. Right? And in order for your needs to be met emotionally, you have to match yourself up with somebody who emotionally also needs to be needed. So they will project a desire to fulfill your needs. However, you are about in April to go through a almost 2-year process of understanding how you have been doing this your whole life. Your Sagittarius Mars is going to say, I have been desiring freedom subconsciously my whole life, and I did not realize. Who was your first teacher around that? Your mom. And this is a past life, which would require a past life regression. This is a past life where your emotions were not heard, right? Where you had a mother's needs, her needs, and her emotional expression of those needs was more important than yours. All right. And so this created some abandonment issues. And this is why you are desiring partners that will automatically give you a sense of freedom so that you don't have to commit to having your heart hurt. Now, I'm going to mention the one time that you can meet someone that will help you through this, but it won't be easy at first. And I don't know the time of your birth, as you don't know either. And you said somewhat early in the morning. So I put you at 4:20 a.m. You don't tell me the place of your birth, but I put you in the middle of the United States, so sort of central. And an hour or two will make a difference. And if you're born in China, that would make a difference too. But around this time, put a Chiron, the planet Chiron, the somewhat of a planet Chiron, in the 7th house. And this does significant of a soulmate. And that would be happening soon, around the April of 2022. So in April, May of 2022, it's very strong that you will meet a soulmate. And this soulmate will be somebody that you are not attracted to at first. Soulmate will actually kind of agitate you. And you can continue in that agitated relationship as you work through your issues and they work through theirs. However, if you want to skip that process, and since you like the escape of that and the distraction of that, you very well may do so. And therefore, it will not be until after February of 2023 until you meet that soulmate. Okay. So let's take a look at any other questions that we have. Remember, you may be upset with the time frame around that, but your soul doesn't care because it's has no timeline. Late morning, Hamilton. Okay, well, we'll try that another time. And Brooke, Charlene is very psychic, intuitive. She likes to chime in. And I think that's beautiful and wonderful that she is beneficial with us. And she sees September. And so that is enticing me to take a closer look at the ephemeris, in which I can give you specific dates. So those specific dates, which I said starts in May of 2022. And the next date, let's see if it coincides with Charlene's, is indeed, is that 18? Okay, well, she says September. I'm not seeing it coinciding with September, but the next date is definitely in December, as well as the beginning of January. So that's another time frame for you to meet that person that will help you evolve. And then into the end, up until the end of 2023 is when you're going to be letting go of those limiting beliefs of freedom and attachment, and freedom and attachment. That's really what you're working on. We'd have to have a really long, full 1 hour session to get through that. So now I want to take a look at Brooke. I love the name Brooke. I almost named my daughter Brooke. All the names that I almost named her Brooke. I almost named her Bailey. I almost named her River. Ended up naming her Cassandra, and she goes by Cassie. And she's like, why didn't you name me River? If it was a boy, I was going to name it River. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at one more, and then we're going to chime off. Okay. So Brooke is August 20th. She's just a baby. 1980s, probably going, yeah, right, Holly. Not. And she did this brilliantly. What she's born at 6:58 a.m. in Salt Lake City. Thank you. And what do you see for me in regards to soulmates? Thank you. Great question, because this is the theme of the day. Now, I just want to confirm the time at 6:58 a.m. askhollyhall.com. Until January 2nd, midnight, I have a deal, and you can use SAVE, SAVE 30, and you'll save $30 off, which would make my reading at $89. And you can book as many as you want into 2025 for all I care at that price. But that's the price it is. I'm soon going to be debuted on a coaching channel, and the coaching channel will allow you to connect with me instantaneously when I'm on live I just want to get that channel for you. It will be per minute, and the prices are adequate for that per minute part. But the coaching, here it is, coachingclubcafe.com is where you'll be able to find me, and I will be on there periodically. So I hope that you can reach out and give that a try. So let's take a look at Brooke. So as for soulmates, and then this will be our last for today. Thank you very much. When we are doing my lives every Wednesday, you can go to my website, www.askhollyhall.com. I'm Ask Holly Hall on every social media you can think of, even YouTube, Ask Holly Hall. That's my tag. That's my tag. Is that the word for it? No. And yeah, so every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'll be doing exactly this, except that if there's 20 of you in the room, I will do my best to read for all 20 of you. All right. Anything more, it will be a luck of the draw. And each time I will definitely not read somebody I've done before. If a new person is in and hasn't been read for, I will intuitively pick who needs to be read for, but everybody benefits from it. As for yourself, you have got 3 people from a past life that has come into this lifetime. One is the father. The other one is a partner. You are going to find a partner that comes from another country, race, religion, somebody with a very different belief system that you have, religion that you have, the country that you've been in, however, is very smart, intelligent, philosophical, big time, okay? And a seeker and a seer like you are. Like you are. So you may feel that you're living in a dream, that you're living in a la-la land, and everybody thinks that you have unrealistic expectations. And I would say that is the case for most people. And you do have to be careful of that knight in shining armor, as you are a Leo with a Mercury in Leo. However, you are one of the few that will have that kind of relationship. However, you have to first let go of that knight in shining armor. Let go of your abandonment and make sure that you find somebody that is as intelligent as you are. You are a people pleaser. So if you find yourself in love with somebody because you are people pleasing what their emotional needs are, and you're mothering them, and you're not getting that back, that ain't working. So the next opportunity for you to be in a relationship like that is March and April. You're just finished going through a soul rebirth, which has been difficult because you've been sharing your anger, your frustration. Nobody's going to walk on you and step on you anymore. However, it has caused some anger issues that you've had to work through, and you'll be working through that for most of 2022 in the summer. After that, at the end of this year, you will be on a straight path to finding your soulmate, the one that I just spoke of. Okay. All right, everyone. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you want to have more information, okay, Brooke says, haha. What does that mean? Haha. Haha, what? Sounds exotic. Wow. Okay. All right. So, and I'd also like feedback. That's all I ask for. If you want to know more information, you go to Amazon or you go to Barnes and Noble and you get my book, 101 Answers from the Universe. And if you want to have more interaction with me and readings with me, and we're going to talk in person, it's not going to be like this unless you want it to be. We're going to be on a Zoom call, and there's going to be a group of other people, and I'm going to hear your voice and you're going to hear my voice, and we're going to talk to each other just like a real reading, not this texting stuff, right? And that's every Wednesday for $25. There'll be a healing, just like we did at the beginning of this session as well. So we're going to end this with a healing and a breathing and a soulmate love, heart-centered, unconditional love. Now this one's going to be hand on center eye and center heart, center eye, center heart. Breathing in through your nose, out through the nose. I am love. In through the nose, out through the nose. I am love. Can you feel that little buzzing, that dizziness in the forehead? I do, that buzzing. Sit with that. That's love. That's love energy pouring into you. Can you feel it? All of us sharing it. Even if you're listening to this after, as a repeat, as a rewind, you're going to have this feeling. Namaste.